Welcome everyone to our lightning talks. We are back again, and I'm quite delighted to see so many of you because it's still early and we are behind plan already. So quite fitting for a second day after the hangover talk, and I won't let you wait any longer. We will start with two first time speakers today. One of them is also, I know one of them, I don't know, is it your first NeosCon also? Okay, first NeosCon, first time speakers. So we start with Luis Linke and Designer Whispering for Frontend Devs. Give a warm welcome.
Yeah, thank you everyone. I think you can hear me, okay. My name is Luis Linke. I work at 3M5 Media GmbH. My colleagues and friends also call me Luis Lightning, that's why it's just a perfect fit. I'm talking a bit about what questions to ask a designer when you get their design system of a website or any app, really. So that you can get there quicker with fewer feedback loops and so on. Things that just kill time unnecessarily. Why is it bad for the backend folks out there? First of all, who's a front-end dev here? Who of you opened a fresh design and immediately had 12 questions about it? And who of you regrets that you didn't ask enough questions in the first round later on? Okay, a few, but that's enough. But for the backend folks, a quick follow-up. Why do follow-ups hurt so much? Every follow-up is a context switch, so not only you have to switch the context of the current project you're working on. The designer he left the design like weeks ago and has to get into the scope of this whole design again, and that just takes unnecessary time. If your designer comes from an external source, it's even worse. When just a quick question from a designer in-house, that would be in an external source, it would be just an email thread of horrendous scale, and we want to avoid that. Every design is just a snapshot. There are better and worse ones, but in general, they are just snapshots of different states of how the website should behave, and so you don't have the full picture. To give you some questions you can ask the designer, I'm gonna propose some scenarios. The first one is there an underlying grid or layout system? You really have to channel your inner Sherlock Holmes sometimes to deduce, is there any grid design system or anything? I've had some designs where in the end it turned out that there was a column system. It was just hidden behind a click, and we didn't know that, and we just did it by heart. It would have been easier to just ask, is there an underlying design system? Is there anything you thought about while designing it, or just put into a sentence, be honest with me, is there a grid hiding under all this with the opacity turned to 0, or am I about to deduce a column count from a ruler and poor faith? Just as a scaffold. What happens between the breakpoints? As I said, there are just snapshots that just So a question to ask is, what in the name of all the holy lies beneath the safe heavens of your two breakpoints? Because the browser is going to render every single pixel, whether we planned for it or not. How do some elements stretch, or do they don't stretch? It's those kind of questions. CMS bonus round for the Neos frontend or CMS frontend devs here. What about the real content? People think that the quote, if anything can go wrong, it will, comes from Murphy, but it's actually any sane front-end devs who says that. And so some questions to ask would be, what if the user isn't called Max, but Maximilian Alexander Freiherr von und zu Birkenstein? What's your nicely designed box gonna do about it? Yeah, like the layout shifts, what happens, where do the elements grow to, and yeah, so on. What happens when an editor lovingly uploads this 4000 by 90 Black Forest panorama into the slot where he drew a nicely tidy square? Also something to consider, aspect ratios of images, very important. Maybe the designer thought, okay, no, this has to be one-to-one, and yeah, you think, oh no, it's gonna be stretched and it's gonna be fine. And then the designer says like, oh no, that's not it, and you have to rework the whole thing, and it's a whole mess. Lastly, and what does it look like when it's empty? Because at some point it will be like anything that can go wrong, it will. If there is an editor who can do things, he will do things, and so he will leave something empty, and what will that look like if there is no picture, actually, or something like that. Yeah, the last one is, do you have a system or is it just vibes? Yeah, you don't want to have the scenario where you just think, okay, he just vibed it, just like by pure, it's like arbitrary number, the gap between two elements, and then the designer says, no, there's actually a system behind it. So just ask the overarching question: is this 24.43 pixel gap by deliberate design, or did it just look right at 2 in the morning? No judgment, I just need to know whether I'm honoring a system or a mood. Yeah, very important to ask if there are any one-offs of sizes or anything really, then just ask the designer, maybe it was his mistake, or he yeah, deliberately did that. In conclusion, if you ask those questions, you're not the annoying one most of the times, I think. Trust me, bro. Questions with designers, those questions build trust. They build trust because people who get it, if the designer sees, okay, he's thinking about this and he points out some flaws in the design, then most of the time they like you more. If you put it nicely, maybe not with the examples I gave you, but ask Claude or something. And last of all, remember, we're all just people. People can mistakes, and people, yeah, communicate with each other. It's always been like that, and it's no different for between front-end devs and designers. Yeah, because that's where the real-time savings live. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. That was lightning fast. And we have a little gift for you.
Finally.
Remember, you can also put in some questions with the app. I will ask them, but you are still here today, so you can grab Luis and question him about his experiences. Yeah. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Next up will be Oscar. As I mentioned before, also first time NeosCon attendee, first time speaker. And he will also be here during the contribution day and the sprint, I heard. So it's the full package for his first time. And he wants to talk about importing Word documents. I already heard some interesting noises during the opening, so I think some of you are excited about this talk. And I heard they plan to open source the package that does the importing, and he will need some help in doing this. So that's the goal for the contribution day. So anyone who wants to help him do this for the first time, you're welcome to help him tomorrow. So we are just fixing some mic problems. So I have to bridge the time gap. Ready? Then let's go.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Today I want to explain how we are importing Word file contents into Neos. First up, why do we even need this feature? Some editors just plain prefer to work in Word. It doesn't matter how nice we make the Neos backend and how fast it is, they just don't want to switch to it. They do everything they can to not have to work somewhere else except Word. Also, some external or freelance writers that provide article contents for us just don't have access to our Neos system. And sometimes when we have a one-off writer that just writes one article for us, it doesn't even make sense to give them a Neos access for the one article that they are going to write. They just do it in Word, and then they will send us the Word file. To be able to import this Word file, some rules have to be followed. First up, the styles are important. Up here you can see just a default headline, but here it's important that we use the Word internal styling templates, so Neos can map those directly to Neos nodes that we have prepared. I have a small Word document here with a headline, a few subheadlines, a text, a few bullet points, and right here I can mark one of the headlines, I can make them to a subheadline, and when I save this and then try to import it into Neos, here I have a node that's called Word import. I can give it a title, Word import. I can choose who made it, doesn't matter at the moment. I can give it a date, and then I can upload the Word file, or I can also choose a Word file that we have already placed inside the content repository. Here it is. And then when I click import, a placeholder node should appear here. This placeholder node is here while the whole Word file gets imported. At the moment, we use a placeholder here because it's asynchronously. The import, it's done over time, because sometimes we have to import like 500 Word files, and then we need something like that. When we open source it, like I want to do tomorrow at the contribution day, we of course will remove that asynchronous work and do it all here in Neos directly. When the node is imported, you can see the title is here, the few texts are here, the bullet points are here, the numbered bullet points are here, and all the text is set. Also, the headline that I have marked in Neos in Word as a subheadline is also here, marked as the node type that I have set in the code. It's right here, and it has its own node type. How we are doing this? At the moment, at the heart, there's. Can you read that? Yep. There's this part. It iterates over every single element in the Word file, and in here it just checks whether the iterated part is a headline, a parsed subline, or something else. For example, if I jump into the headline parse, at the moment it just sets this content type to Überschrift, and later in the asynchronous workflow, it just imports it into Neos, and by setting this as Überschrift, it will import it as a headline or a subheadline, just how we have defined it here. Tomorrow, when I want to open source this, I want to make it possible to have a YAML file where you can define what styles in Word map to what node types in Neos. So you can just change whatever you want to import and how you want to import it and change it all to your node types as you want it. And that's it.
Very, very cool. And it will, yeah, I can see that there are use cases where editors will need that. And we have a question for you. So can an editor include images in their Word document, or do they have to provide those separately if they want pictures in their article?
It was possible to also include images. It doesn't work at the moment. I don't know why. I'll fix it tomorrow maybe. But yeah, why we include it as a Word file, it's just for a rough draft in the Word, and then to clean it up in Neos itself, because some things are just available in Neos that we don't have in Word, like linking other articles, and that's just possible in Neos.
So that's really great. And one word from our audience, amazing. And also for Luis, funny talk, very interesting. So it was very cool to have you here, both for the first time, maybe next time, an extended talk. Or again, a lightning talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, your presence. Thank you. And next, we are switching to our seasoned speakers. One who is not commonly known for his lightning fast talks. We are already behind the plan, so I'm a bit anxious if we build up more time. So I hope we have some left, because we have 4 talks and not just 3. And I don't know where Maya went. Oh, last row. And I'm also very excited about her topic. It was also classic late evening, late night talk submission. I like those. And Christopher's ready. So give a warm welcome for Christopher.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'll try to keep it short, but yeah, we'll see. So I did a thing somehow with AI tools. You try all kind of things you have in your head. That's interesting, but also an issue. But I find this thing interesting, and I wanted to share it with you and get your feedback and see where it goes. So the basic idea is many of you work with agents, and there are some tools to persist memory, but most of you know you have sessions, you did some interesting thing, and where does this knowledge go? Do you just capture it? Do you use something of auto memory? Do you write it down to some markdown file? It could work in the beginning, but it can be a mess. And if you don't have that, you have traditional issue tracking, wikis, documentation, emails from customers. You do a lot of copy and pasting from these tools to get the context into the agent to do the actual work. So I was fed up with that, and I don't like issue systems, to be honest. I tried some ideas. So instead of scattering it, I thought about, let's put everything into one place. Of course, a graph is a good idea. It's a much simpler graph than the content repository, fortunately. It's only stored in the Git. And the idea is, as you work with the agent, there are some skills involved that put you to a dialogue of your actual work. Could be a concept, could be research, could be coding, whatever. And you together with the agent decide what to capture in the graph. And each graph entry is one file which is immutable, which can reference each other, and which is never touched, only appended, and the actual state is derived, so is is a thing closed? Was it addressed? Is it open? You can connect like all these loose ends, and it covers basically every layer, from strategic questions to small details and bugs. Everything can be put in there. So basically you work in kind of loops. You capture something, or you start, something is broken, a customer observed something, we have a new question, the agent goes into dialogue with you, tries to research what's already available in the graph. There's a vector search integrated to find related information. You can directly engage with an entry that's already captured and say, I want to proceed with this. You do something, you capture new entries. So I would call that moving the graph forward. That is basically everyday work, is moving the graph forward. How can we close open ends? What can we capture as new insights, ideas? How can we synthesize things we already had or did? So there's a taxonomy. I won't go into details here, but yeah, it's also a thing that's work in progress. What is the right vocabulary to capture everything? The main idea is you have two parts. The one is like, this happened, this is a signal, this is a gap, this is an observation, something crashed, the customer gave me a call, I got an email. The other is something that you did, this is a decision entry. You committed to something, you made a plan, you built a contract that is a guideline that should always be followed, so on and so forth. And what I would like it to feel is like having a dialogue with more a narrated nature. So if you started right now, you get a catch up. Where do we stand based on your role in the project? And it captures the most important loose ends with some ideas like what is most reference, what is hot right now as topics in the graph, and the agent gives you a narration. And you can pick up from there, choose your direction, go into dialogue, and go into the loop to continue. And the main idea is that everybody does what he or it can do best. Agents get the perfect context, can do more and more autonomously, but they shouldn't decide for you. I hate it when they just have assumptions and do decisions you never were involved. And humans make the calls, provide taste, and do the decisions, but also record the decisions. And even without agents, I never saw that projects had a good decision history. So you knew why things were done, why they were chosen, what alternatives were considered. So this happens basically while working without having any discipline. Yeah, basically you cannot close a session without going through the capture flow, but yeah, even I can do that. So, and I cannot update tickets. So, so there's a lot in there already that is usable. As I said, it's an experiment. It's an idea and vision I had in mind, and I just wanted to try and give it a shot, how it feels. We are using it in a few projects already, and see how it works with more people. I can surely say for personal use, it's perfectly fine. Collaboration has some rough edges for syncing and when doing parallel work, but yeah, there's already quite some ideas in there, and basically you can check it out, run it, and ask the project where it stands, where it's leading. So, and where's this heading? I want to give this more than a technical coding agent feel. You should be able to engage visually. There should be access to, for people that don't use Claude Code or any coding agent, like connecting to any general agent as a connector with MCP or something. Because I see that really for all project stakeholders to interact this way with their role. Or also like running this in a meeting as a sidekick, or capturing meeting notes directly, getting feedback. Oh, you already talked about that. That was a decision that was already discovered. That would be very valuable, I think. And basically, if you have this perfect context, why not run agents automatically, push a branch, and you directly see experiments and can choose what you like and what not. Yeah, so try it out. I would be happy to hear from you, and I hope it leads somewhere. Yeah, okay, thank you.
So I have some questions for you. Wait,
Okay.
don't run away.
I thought that was a
No,
goodbye.
I just waited for my mic to work.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think you answered this question already, kind of. Do you have this once per project or once for your full company? And the second part, I think you answered, is it per person or shared?
I didn't get the second question.
Is it per person or shared?
Yeah, so basically it's shared in a Git repository, and I have some ideas captured already to have cross-repository references. Like you can work in different repositories, have like a shared repository, a meta repository where you reference all detail. I don't know. It's an open question, but I know that it's relevant because yeah, if you capture knowledge, you want to reuse it in different repositories. But the basic idea is it is shared. You work in Git, you have branches for collaboration, and that works pretty good, I think. Yeah.
And the second one is, what about discussions and decisions which happen away from your computer with humans? Do you sit down afterwards and update Claude, or how would you handle those knowledge graphs?
The basic idea is to mine external information that could be existing issues, meeting transcripts, whatever. You would need to use tools to capture that, put it in there, go into a dialogue, and afterwards get the captured entries. So that's the basic flow. But I also used it when watching YouTube videos. Oh, that's interesting. I just downloaded the transcript, pasted it in there, and captured the knowledge and connected it to my ideas. So that was, I would say it works if you use some tools. Yeah.
So, and as you said, it's a first draft, and you would like to get in touch with people, talk about the idea, and develop it further. So, thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
And now we have not the, what was it, belly dancing talk. This is still reserved for Sebastian at some point in the future. But we have an equally nice headline for this talk. It's called Cross-Pollination. And Maya will tell us what, Maya and her sidekick, I thought, will tell us what this is all about.
Hi. I will be honest, this is an underprepared presentation of a topic that I'm overly enthusiastic about. I'll also be honest, I'm a little bit tired, so I will be holding on to this table for dear life. I feel it's resonating, okay. And another disclaimer, because disclaimers are always good for expectation management. This idea was birthed very late last night. None of the involved parties were sober. But then I woke up and I remembered, and I still thought it was a good idea. So here I am. Let's deal with these consequences. We were inspired by Robert's keynote. He pointed out there was a key question that he asked that garnered him some feedback after his keynote, where he asked how many agencies in the room had developed their own CPM server. And something like 15 hands shot up, which is so stupid, because we're doing the same thing, and how different are they going to be? We're a very small community. There's not so many agencies that work with NEOS, and in order to thrive and grow, we can't really afford to be doing the same thing and solving the same problems. Now that I'm a project manager, this pain hits me financially too. It used to only hit me in my coding honor. Now it hurts me financially. We're wasting our time, we're wasting our love and joy and energy, and we're wasting our clients' money if we all do the same thing and solve the same problem all over the place rather than share them. So, solution-based thinking. I would like to pitch some kind of format up for discussion. This is very much an open room kind of situation where we create some exchange between agencies. I think it would be good to get representatives from everybody, from all of the agencies that want to, into a space together to cross-pollinate our ideas. Because I'm sure if we can establish a format where people feel safe and comfortable enough to share, look, we're dealing with this problem. We are facing, I don't know, the stuff that we all need to do at some point, like a stupid HubSpot integration. Why is there 800 of those? All of these things that we all keep doing over and over again, why don't we pool our resources or ask for help, create a space where you can say, look, my client needs this, has anybody done this before? Before we pour hours and weeks of labor and love into this, does anybody already have a cool solution? Or even a space where we can say, look, I have this problem and I don't really know how to solve it yet. Have you seen this problem? The same space could allow kind of like a micro-con, a space where you can brag a little because we solved this really cool problem and I'll tell you about it, and maybe next time you run into a situation like this, you can remember that I spoke about it and we can get in touch. So this is my pitch. I will happily take responsibility for creating a format. I think they should be moderated in some shape, otherwise it's just gonna be a room of people not talking or talking about other stuff. But I propose a space, I don't know, this is like up for change, and I'm very open to discuss this, but maybe a monthly call with like previously set topics and some time for open discussion, questions, ideas, where we brag a little bit about the really cool things that we do, where we inspire each other to open source more things, to abstract specific solutions so more people can profit from them, and we could use the resources that we free up for like actually cool stuff. Thank you. And I think Robert has something to say. Möchtest du meins haben?
Yeah, thanks a lot for making this, for pitching this and making that a reality, hopefully.
It's not real yet.
No, but now that we stand on the stage here, it almost is. My working title was less socially acceptable. It was show me yours, I show you mine.
I'm not sure how acceptable.
But that would be the idea that, right? So just to put some, I mean, why I mentioned that in the keynote, there were these situations where, I don't know who it was, like, yeah, I'm looking for a way to put some password policy in Neos, and oh, fortunately, there's a plugin from Jungformat which can do that.
There is?
And there is, and I wonder, like, why isn't that in the core? Like, or like, I forgot my password function or a notification email function. Why are there dozens of plugins which do that and dozens of agencies, and they are hard to maintain, right? So it's much easier to once in a while collect these things and make them an official part of Neos, which is also better to maintain them. And of course, the Neos team cannot maintain all that code. Maybe we need some help then, but it's still less work than if each agency does that. So I really like that.
It's all your inspiration.
Let's do it.
I actually have one, just to like start the thing. We need tables, editable tables in the Neos backend. If you've done anything like it, on like a very sophisticated level. If you've done anything like it, yes, look, someone's waving their hand. I knew this would happen. Yes, everything that we've seen, the editing experience is meh, or it doesn't do all of the things that we needed to do. Can you please get in touch with my team? Thank you. So great success. Thank you.
So thank you, Maya. No question. I didn't look, to be honest, but I think there will be people coming up to you. and ask. Do you have a plan for the schedule? I'm not hosting this year, so I'm not sure what's next. Oh, cool. Thank you. So next up here will be NEOS in action. So we already saw some projects being presented here yesterday. So make sure to stay here if you are interested in all the nominees and want to know what they did. And downstairs is Andre. He will talk about strongly typed things.